Hello, welcome to the tour and installation instructions for Baseball on a Stick. Baseball on a Stick is free software published on SourceForge.net, which can capture the events of Major League or Minor League Baseball games and place that information into a database so that it can be used in statistical research. Baseball on a Stick will capture the Major League Baseball information that is published on MajorLeagueBaseball.com. As you can see, there are files posted to the internet by Major League Baseball, and they contain information in XML format. Baseball on a Stick can read that data and place it into a database for you. Baseball on a Stick can also capture information from retrosheet.org, the organization that has gathered the events and box scores for baseball games back into the early 1900s. The first step in the installation of Baseball on a Stick is to go to the SourceForge website for Baseball on a Stick and download the latest version. You should pick a directory where you'd like to install Baseball on a Stick. I will place it on my C drive in a folder called BBOS. Next, I will open that folder and unzip the contents of the BBOS zip. As you can see, Baseball on a Stick has a few main directories. The first one you'll look in is the doc directory, which has the installation instructions. The first step in the installation instructions is to read through all the instructions first. I'll leave that up to you. The second step is to download an instance of the MySQL database. The latest version that is currently available is MySQL 5.5. To download MySQL, I will go to the MySQL website. I'll click Downloads, and if you are on Windows, the installer is linked on the main page. You don't need a MySQL account. You can click this link down here to skip that step. I am going to save MySQL in the same directory where I put BBOS, just for simplicity. The MySQL installer has completed downloading, and we will open it. We're going to pick Install Products, accept the license terms, allow it to check for updates, and select Developer Default as the setup type. Importantly, we have to save off the installation directory. I will save the installation directory in another program for a minute. We have to let it install other tools that it needs. And finally, let it install the server. MySQL Workbench is a tool to query the database you can use, or you can use your own tool, and the rest are just MySQL utilities. You can see the MySQL server and all the utilities have been finished downloading. and installing. And we are going to do the initial configuration. We're going to leave it as developer machine. The MySQL root password needs to be anything you want. However, what you do need to create is a user in MySQL that is named BBOS and has a password of BBOS. The role of DBA admin is very important to leave alone, because the BBOS user will create schemas, which is a collection of database tables in the database, and it needs that permission to be able to create them. You probably want to allow MySQL to run as a service. The configuration is complete, and we will start MySQL Workbench so we can take a look at the database before anything is in it. We will use the MySQL Workbench to create a new connection. With the user BBOS. We can then use the BBOS user that we've created to take a look at what tables it can see. So the schemas listed are the ones that are by default included in MySQL. Nothing related to BBOS has been installed yet. And so we return to the installation instructions. We have already created a user named BBOS with the password BBOS. The next thing we need to do is install Python. We have to install a version of 2.7 or earlier. The 3.0 versions do not work with BBOS 5.1. To download Python, we will go to the web. The latest Python 2.7 version is located here. We want the MSI installer because that's the easiest. We'll save it to the BBOS directory again for simplicity. The installer is finished downloading, and so we will open it and run it. We use the default directory of Python 2.7. Python is finished. And we can return to the installation instructions. The next step is to run some commands at a DOS prompt. In XP and in Windows, usually the DOS prompt is located under Programs, Accessories, Command Prompt. It'll start at a certain directory. You want to navigate to the directory in which you installed BBOS. In our case, that was BBOS. You can see the files we've been downloading are in this directory. The instructions say to navigate to the BBOS bin directory and run the install Python libs program. This program uses Python to install a few Python libraries into the directory in which you installed Python. It's going to place some files under the site packages directory in the Python installation so that BBS, when it runs Python commands, can use those new modules. The modules were included in the download of BBOS. The next installation instruction is to install the schemas into the MySQL database. In the bin directory there's also some files that do that. Install game day schema and install retro sheet schema. Let's check in the MySQL workbench if those schemas have been installed. This is a refresh button. You can see there's now a retro sheet schema with a lot of tables and a game day schema with a lot of tables that look like they should hold baseball information. The next installation instruction is to begin running the loading of baseball games. If you want to load retro sheet data, you would simply use the retro sheet bat file. If you want to load Major League Baseball data, there are a number of scripts in the bin directory that can do that job for you. Here's the directory where we installed BBOS. We were in the doc directory. In the bin directory there are a load script for each year in which Major League Baseball has put out game day data. You can load everything using this script, load all available games. You can load the last 2 days of data using load recent games. And in the MILB directory there are scripts to load minor league baseball games. Minor league games do not contain PitchFX data yet, so the data loaded will be mostly devoid of pitch information. I believe many games do have the location of the pitch as across the plate, but no other PitchFX data. So let us load some games. We will run load recent games, and it does nothing because today is a day in January and there were no baseball games played in the last 2 days. I could run one of the other scripts to load all the information from 2012, for example, but I do not want you to sit here and watch all of the 2012 games load. So we will use what we know about what these scripts do, and we will run the BBOS program by itself. We will say -H to see what the options are for help, and we can see that you can do -D to load a particular day's MLB games. We'll pick the day that is in the help instructions, and you will see that it's going to load games from 2008, 9/24 into the database. Each game takes about 10 to 15 seconds to load,